Alright, hey guys, it's me Jessica, and today I'm going to be doing my bookshelf tour and I'm really excited. Now I'm just doing this bookshelf behind me and this is my books that I've already read bookshelf, and then I will do another book tour of my TBR shelf and that'll be it. Maybe I'll do not really like a book tour, but I'll just go through all of the books that I really want to get in the future, so kind of like on my TBR but don't own list. If that's something you're interested, please comment down below. So this is going to be a very long video, so strap yourselves in, get yourself some tea and some cookies, and get ready for this amazing book tour. Okay, so this is shelf number 1. I have a lot of like plushies. Disney Tsum Tsums is what they're called, and they're on my shelf. I love to put these on there. I think it's really cool, but you guys know that if you watch my channel for a little while. So yeah, I don't know if I should introduce all of these Tsum Tsums. You should know what characters these are. If you don't, then you need to be watching some Disney. That's all I gotta say. So I guess we'll start over here. So I have Sebastian, Ariel, and Flounder up at the top here. So I guess I'm gonna take these down. I say. So we have The Lightning Thief by Rick Riordan, The Sea of Monsters, The Titan's Curse, The Battle of the Labyrinth, and The Last Olympian. This is the entire series of Percy Jackson and the Olympians, which you guys should obviously know that because this is a fantastic series. Now, of these books, I'd have to say Battle of the Labyrinth is my favorite, and I'm going to be doing that for all of the series, or all of the series. I'll tell you guys my favorite books out of them, but the Battle of the Labyrinth is definitely my favorite. I love this book so much. So next we have The Lost Heroes, Son of Neptune, Mark of Athena, House of Hades, Blood of Olympus, and these are the books from the Heroes of Olympus series. My favorite is going to have to be the Mark of Athena, despite the ending. I love this book. And then down here I have a Lightning Thief graphic novel that I actually might get rid of just because I don't really like it that much. Also here over on the sides I have Percy Jackson and the Olympians, the Demigod Files, and then I also have the Demigod Diaries. I love these are really cool, so I have those as well. So yeah, that's that. So up here, I'm gonna go up here a little bit. I have Nemo, and then I have Crush's son. I forgot what his name is, but I have him. This is Gaston. This is Gaston. It took me a second. This is Gaston, and then Lumiere and Cogsworth, Chip and Mrs. Potts, and then the Beast and Belle. Got all of them here. And this is a bookend. It is obviously Noah's Ark. My nursery was Noah's Ark themed, so I have a few remnants of that, and this is one of them. So we're gonna go back down. I'm not gonna move those. I'll move those later. So here are all my Cassandra Clare books that I have read. We've got Clockwork Angel, Clockwork Prince, Clockwork Princess, of course. My favorite is Clockwork Princess, of course. Clockwork Princess is the best. Then we have the Shadowhunter Codex, which I love. I love this. This is amazing. So, yeah. Of course, we've got City of Bones, City of Ashes, City of Glass, City of Fallen Angels, City of Lost Souls, City of Heavenly Fire. Boom. All of those. My favorite has to be maybe City of Glass, and then, or City of Heavenly Fire. I can't pick. I love these. And of course we have Lady Midnight and Lord of Shadows. My favorite so far is Lady Midnight. I love Lady Midnight. I think it's fantastic. Lord of Shadows is great. We get to see Fairy and all that, and like there is so much character development with all these characters, but like Lady Midnight, I love that one so much. Establishing shot for the second part of the top shelf. So real quickly, up here at the top we have this unicorn my sister got for my birthday. Well, my sister got me for my birthday. And then this owl that's really cute and fluffy. And yeah. And then we got this Light Up J. Just so you know, my name is actually Jessica. Oh, and then the batteries don't work on it. A second. There we go. Jessica. J. And then it goes off again. Wow, this thing is so unpredictable. So yeah, those are there. Alright, so actually on the shelf, See if I can, I don't think I can move this anymore. Okay, so we have the rest of my kind of Rick Riordan books. We've got the Red Pyramid, the Hidden Oracle, and the Ultimate Percy Jackson Guide. I think this is by Rick Riordan. I'm not 100% sure. I don't think it's even written, it's not even written, it doesn't even say, it's just this Disney Hyperion. But basically, I won't be putting these out kind of on my little area of Rick Riordan that normally goes in this area here until I finished with the series. So I definitely need to finish the Red Pyramid trilogy. I really just need to get to that. And then also with the Hidden Oracle, I do have the other books in the Apollo, the Trials of Apollo. I do have the other book, haven't read it. So yeah. Next, we have Altered and Erased, and these are 2 books by Jennifer Rush. There is a 3rd book, and it's called Reborn, and I don't have it yet, and I kind of want to read it. Part of me kind of doesn't want to read it. But the thing with the series is it's kind of like once you read it, you can't reread it because you know all the twists and turns, so it's not going to be very... I don't know. I've tried to reread this book twice, and I just couldn't do it. But they're pretty good. My favorite is Altered, though. Erased was okay, and it was a little confusing. So next we have Divergent and Insurgent. I do have Allegiant, but my mother has borrowed it for the past year or 2 years. Yep. So my favorite is obviously Divergent. I just don't know if I can reread this series for obvious reasons because Triss dies. That's just a spoiler that everyone knows. So the next book I have is The Hunger Pains. This is by the Harvard Lampoon? I don't know. But this is a parody of the Hunger Games, and it's actually pretty funny. I recommend it, I guess, yeah. And then, of course, I have Hunger Games, Catching Fire, and Mockingjay. My favorite is Catching Fire. I love Catching Fire. But what I love about my copies of the Hunger Game is, like, paperback, hardcover, large print edition. Like, large print edition. These words are huge. So yeah. Alright, so now we're going to do this middle section here. I've got the Genie, Aladdin, and Jasmine up on top because they're amazing. And I love Aladdin. It's a great movie. Anyway, moving on. I have The Bone Season and The Mime Order by Samantha Shannon. Great series. Recommend it a lot. You guys know that. Next, I have The Queen of the Tyrrolene. I don't like how this is here in this area. I really want it standing up, but I don't have an area for it yet, so it's currently just going to be sitting this way, which I disapprove of, but you know what? Yeah. So the next 3 books I have are the, it's basically Star Wars and Shakespearean, and I just realized they're the wrong way, so yeah. I've got, let's see, I've got Star Wars, A New Hope, in Shakespearean, then I have The Empire Striketh Back, and then I also have The Phantom of Menace. So I have these 3 books. Technically, they should go this way in the order. Yeah, there we go. Now they're in order. Woo! So next I have the Selection Trilogy. Let me emphasize on that. Trilogy. So I have the Selection, the Elite, and the One. I have to say my favorite might be the One. I don't know. It's been a while since I've read these books, and I kind of want to reread them. Like, a part of me is like, yeah, Jessica, you should reread them. And a part of me is like, but do you really want to reread them? So yeah, unlike a lot of people where the series is kind of a guilty pleasure and like a don't talk about the series, it's not that great, I don't mind them. I guess it's just I was a freshman and like I was okay with things like that. So these next 3 books are just kind of extra copies I have. So Skullduggery Pleasant Dark Days, Skullduggery Pleasant Mortal Coil, and my ARC version of The Mime Order by Samantha Shannon. Yeah, so these are just extra copies of books I have that are bigger than the other copies I have and things like that. So I just kind of stuck them here because you're not really going to see them because like Cassandra Clare goes here and Rick Riordan goes here, so you don't see them anyway. So here is the last shelf area that we're going to be talking about for the top shelf. It's going to be a little hard. Here, let me reposition myself over here on this side. Hello. Oh, there's things on my floor. Okay. So I have Peter Pan here. He's alone. I hate when I have Tsum Tsums that are alone, so I really want to get Tinkerbell and Wendy. I don't like when I have only one of a movie or something, so yeah. I also have this really awesome sign that I love, National Sarcasm Society, like we need your support. So yeah. So let's get on with the books on the shelf. I have the books that I have read of the Lux series, which consist of Oblivion, which is the first book from Damien's point of view, but if you get the ebook, you get the second and third book from his point of view, so I'd recommend getting the ebook, but I also have the ebook and the physical copy, so just saying. So then it's Lux the Beginning, which has Obsidian and Onyx, and then Opal as well. And my favorite might have to be, oh, I don't know. Oh, this is a hard question. My favorite in the series is, I don't know. So the next book, the next books on the shelf is my Morganville Vampire volumes by Rachel Caine. So volume 1, volume 2, volume 3. So they have 2 books in each. So I have read 6 books in the series. I have the 4th volume, and then I have the 2 books that come after the volume because they stopped they stopped publishing them in volumes that I know of. So I only have up to volume 4 and then the 2 books after that, so yeah. I don't really remember this series much. I'd have to say maybe the last book in volume 3, which is called Carpe Corpus, is my favorite in this series. It's alright. I will say though, for a 16-year-old who goes to college, she's kind of stupid. So the last books, I'm gonna move this down a little bit. The last books I have are my semi-guilty pleasure books. I don't really like to call them guilty pleasures, but these books I have no excuse but saying they're guilty pleasures because I read these when I was a junior in high school. So, I mean, like, let's just not talk. So this is the Tiger Curse Saga by Colleen Houck. I do have the first book of her new series, Reawaken, which you guys know. I hauled it. Yeah, I hauled it. So the series consists of the Tiger's Curse, Tiger's Quest, Tiger's Voyage, Tiger's Destiny, and my favorite without a doubt is Tiger's Voyage. That one is actually, that one out of all of them is really good. They're supposed to be like Indiana Jones, but for girls, and it's like more on the romance than it is anything else. So if you want a romance novel, I guess here you go. It's alright. Yeah, so that's this shelf. Alright, here we go. Shelf 2. Yeah. So up here on shelf 2 we have Pascal, Eugene Fitzherbert, Rapunzel, Cinderella, Prince Charming, and not really Prince Charming, right? The prince, basically. And the fairy godmother, and then also we have Mickey and Minnie right here. So yeah. Start off we have my Marie Lu books I have read, which is Legend, Prodigy, and Champion, and The Young Elites. Yeah, so got those, and then we have my favorite. It's been a long time since I've read this trilogy, and so I don't really remember what my favorite book was. I do want to reread the trilogy, but I kind of feel guilty about rereading books just because I have so many books to read. But I thought The Young Elites was pretty good. I'll say that. Next I have Illuminae and Gemina by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. You guys know I love these books so much. My favorite is Illuminae. Gemina coming very close, and I'm excited for the 3rd one. I'm like so excited for the 3rd one. Okay, so moving over, we have all my Sarah J Maas books that I have read, which after Tower of Dawn, I'm just done with Sarah J Maas until the next one comes out. So I have obviously the Assassin's Blade, Throne of Glass, Crown of Midnight, Heir of Fire, Queen of Shadows, Empire of Storms, and that's all for the Throne of Glass series at the moment. Then we have A Court of Thorns and Roses, A Court of Mist and Fury, and A Court of Wings and Ruin. Now, out of the Throne of Glass series, my favorite book might be Queen of Shadows. I love Queen of Shadows so much. So, my favorite books in the ACOTAR series, if you couldn't tell, just based on how they're presented, A Court of Mist and Fury is my favorite book in that series. I love it so much, and I'm excited to see the sort of spin-off series that continues on with it. I'm excited to see it, so yeah, just saying that. But There they are. Okay, so if you're wondering why I've all of a sudden like removed all these books, it's just so I can show you these guys. So this is just kind of there because if it was just this, there'd be so much room back here that I would just be wasting. So I put books back there. So back here I have my James Patterson books that I've read and that consist of the Confessions of a Murder Suspect. They're really good covers because after this cover they all became this. So, the Confessions, the Private School Murders, and then, Confessions, the Paris Mysteries. I mean, these are absolutely disgusting covers. And there's another one that I've yet to get, and it's white. And it's The Murder of an Angel, but I don't have it yet. My favorite is the first book, Confessions of a Murder Suspect. I think it's like a great premise, and I really enjoyed this book. Alright, so this shelf is a combination of things. It's just like kind of books of series I haven't finished yet, which are just these three here. And then it's kind of like books that I want to keep, maybe, questionable. And then also the rest are my mangas, which I'll get to. So the first one I have is Shatter Me by Tahereh Mafi. You guys, I'm gonna move this down. You guys know I love this book. I do want to display this out on my shelf in the front, but it's just I want to wait for when I finish the series, so I need to read Unravel Me and then Ignite Me, and then it'll be out for everyone to see that I have read Shatter Me. Next, I have Jacoby by William Ritter. This book I did enjoy a lot, but it's not like enough for me to put it out for everyone to see, though I do love the cover. I also have the second book, Beastly Bones, but I haven't read it yet, and I still think I might keep these books just in the back of my shelf. Next is Alienated by Melissa Landers. I did make a review for this, but I don't think I actually posted it. So, this book is alright. It is fluffy. I recommend it to those who don't mind if the writing quality isn't so great and they want something fluffy. That's all I gotta say. Next, I have Blackbird, and this is by Anna Carey. This book takes place in second person, and I think I did a review for this. I'm not 100% sure if I did, but it was pretty cool, a little confusing. There is a second book to this, and I don't know if I want to read it or not. I do want to know the kind of conclusion and what happens to the main character, who is in second person, but, yeah, it's pretty good. So next I have a book that I read when my freshman year. I read it for one purpose and one purpose only, and that's because it's Jessica's Guide to Dating on the Dark Side, and if you don't know, my name is Jessica. So it is about a girl named Jessica, and that's actually not her real name. That's what her adopted parents named her. But anyway, she ends up having to marry a vampire, and it's fluffy. It's alright. I guess I wouldn't recommend it to people who, like, to friends of mine who read a lot and care about the reading material they read. That's all I gotta say. And I have the second one, Jessica Rules the Dark Side, and I have not read it, nor will I read it, but I don't want to get rid of it. Yeah. So next I have my copy of Geekerella by Ashley Poston. My review for this came out. It's out. I love the hollow of Geekerella, but this book thoroughly disappointed me. I will just say that. And that's all I gotta say. Another book that was not really a disappointment, but the second book definitely is for me, and that's A Daughter of Smoke and Bones. I'm actually considering getting rid of this trilogy and not even finishing it because this book, the second book, is just literally killing me. But this book was alright. I think I gave it a 4 stars. Yeah. So next I have my romance novels, which consist of Passion by Louise Bagshaw, Beautiful Bastard, and Beautiful Stranger by Christina Lauren. And actually, it's actually Christina and Lauren, because believe it or not, it's by 2 people. I just finished the third book, which is Beautiful Player, and that was my favorite in the series. I will say that. It's my favorite in the series, and I am reading the 4th one at the moment. Actually, I've already read the 4th one, but I didn't know I read the 4th one. So I'm kind of skimming through the fourth one again. Yeah. So next we're going to go on to my mangas. So here we are with all of my mangas. These three are actually, I guess they're three, are the most recent ones I've read. Dictorial Grimoire is really good. It's only 3 books though, and it has the potential to be so many more, but there's only 3. Next I have is Pandora Hearts, and this one is really good. This one's good. I have the second book, but I haven't read it yet, and I need to do that. Next I have my 3 Legend of Zeldas. I've got Ocarina of Time Part 1 and Part 2. Oh yeah. And then I also have Oracle of Ages. Yup. Pretty good. Why play the games when you can just read the mangas? Just joking, play the games, they're good. So, I have the whole entire series of Fruits Basket. 1 through 23 with 2 extra little books here. Those don't really do anything, but I own them. Yeah, for the longest time, I had almost all of them except for 8 and 18, but now I have all of them. And part of me feels accomplished, and part of me is like, why do I still have these? But I don't want to get rid of them because I love them. Establishing shot for the third shelf. Yay! Okay, so let's get this show on the road. As you can see, I have a crap ton of Star Wars Disney Tsum Tsums, but I love these guys. So, I guess I'm gonna go through all of them. I have Queen Amidala, I have Padme Amidala, I have Aayla Secura, I have Hoth Leia. This is Grand Moff Tarkin. Then we got Kylo Ren, Rey, Finn, Poe, BB-8, R2-D2, C-3PO, Luke, Leia, Han, and Chewie over in the corner there. So I have all of those guys. I love them so much. This is like my little wall of Star Wars Tsum Tsums, and I'm obsessed. So we're gonna start with, obviously, my favorite series in the whole wide world, Skulduggery Pleasant. I would have loved to put Skulduggery Pleasant on the top shelf, but it just wasn't working out when I was planning it in my head. So I have Skulduggery Pleasant and then Scepter of the Ancients. These two are actually the first books. I'm not lying, they're the first books. I also have another copy of the first book, and I just got it back from a friend I lent it to who didn't read it, but I got it back, I'll just say that. So, Scepter of the Ancients, Playing with Fire, The Faceless Ones, Dark Days, Mortal Coil, my favorite. Then we have The End of the World, which is a little novella. Then we have Deathbringer, Kingdom of the Wicked, and Last Stand of Dead Men, and The Dying of Light. And I have not read the 10th book. Oh my god, I haven't read the 10th book yet. That's something I'm hopefully going to be doing over winter break. So yeah. So moving on over, we have my Leigh Bardugos, which consist of Shadow and Bone, Siege and Storm, Ruin and Rising, and then Six of Crows, which I love. But my favorite from the Grisha trilogy would have to be Siege and Storm. I love this book so much. These books are amazing and I love them. And then obviously Six of Crows is just amazing. I need to finish Crooked Kingdom. So yes. Moving over, we got all of my Marissa Myers, all of them. We got Cinder, Scarlet, Cress, Winter, Stars Above, Wires and Nerves, and Heartless. So my favorite out of all of the Lunar Chronicles would have to be... This is hard. I'd have to say Winter. Winter is so fantastic. And then I love Cress as well. Cress might take second place, but Winter... Oh, Winter was fantastic. I think I was reading a lot of like end of series, and a lot of the end of the series, I just didn't know if like authors didn't know how to end their works. But Winter was fantastic ending, and I love it so much. I love Wires and Nerves as well, and I love Heartless, as you guys know. So yeah, those are my favorite. There you go. I love these guys. Alright, so we're on the second shelf with the back. I'm kind of holding my tripod a little, so it's going to move around. Sorry to give you motion sickness there. So we're going to start over here. I've got Ruby Red, Sapphire Blue, Emerald Green. These are by Kirsten Gier, and I love these covers so much. These are gorgeous. So Ruby Red is a fantastic trilogy about time travel. It's pretty good. Like, the series decreases a little bit as the books go on, but they're pretty good. So I would recommend them. I like them a lot, so here they are. move it out the way. Okay, there we go. So next we have all of my contemporaries. As you can tell, I do not read a lot of contemporaries. I am sorry, Fate. Alright, so next we have The Duff by Cody Kepler. This is the art copy. I found this at a thrift store. If I find The Duff again at a thrift store, I might buy it and replace it with this. But the original cover, I'm not going to get like that stupid movie cover. And I'm not going to lie, the movie was pretty good, but I like the book a little better. So yeah, The Duff. Next, we have Just One Day by Gail Forman. You guys know how I feel about this book, and I'm not going to talk about it any longer. Next, we have You Were Here, and I did a review on this book, and so you guys know how I feel about it. That's what I'm going to say. Next, I have Between the Lines. I love the premise of this book. I will just say the word choicing and the kind of, not really the structure of the story, but just the word choicing and everything about it just seemed a little childish to me. I mean, it could have been done a lot better. Obviously, I also think if it wasn't like just a random fairy tale story, if it was like a kind of basically Throne of Glass or something, if like this book was Throne of Glass and like someone goes into it, oh my god, that would be amazing. I need to write this or something, maybe. Something fell on the shelf below. Stop moving. Stop. There we go. So Between the Lines. Next, we have The Fault in Our Stars by John Green, the only John Green book I probably will ever read, and I read it for, of course, the hype and the movie that was coming out. So yeah, it was okay. I didn't cry. I knew who was going to die. I did cry for the movie, though. I will say that. And then I have my Morgan Matsons, and I love Morgan Matson. My favorite is Since You've Been Gone, but I have Since You've Been Gone and The Unexpected Everything. I've done a review for The Unexpected Everything, so you guys can go and watch it. And then Since You've Been Gone is just fantastic. So, I'm gonna put these books away. Alright, so let's continue on. I have A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab. I really enjoyed this book, and I want to read the other ones, but they're just so expensive, so I might be doing a reward myself at the end of the year with an Amazon thing. I don't know, maybe, maybe not, but A Darker Shade of Magic, enjoyed a lot, want to continue on. Next, we have The Devil and the Deep Blue Sea and Between the Spark and the Burn by April Genevieve Tacole. I don't know how to pronounce her last name, but I absolutely love Between the Devil and the Deep Blue Sea, and I had psyched myself out with Between the Spark and the Burn. I was expecting something that I didn't get, and I was disappointed with this book. But I love Between the Devil and the Deep Blue Sea. I think it's fantastic, and I recommend it. It's not spooky at all, but I liked it. So next we have all of my Jessica Verde books. The Hollow, the Haunted, and the Hidden. I love these covers. Oh my god. I love these covers a lot. They're really, they're really pretty. So, yeah. And then let's talk about The Beautiful and the Damned by Jessica Verde. This is a spin-off book that is absolutely horrible. I will just say that right now. It's like Jessica Verde expected us to know all of this stuff she never explained in the Hollow trilogy, and it made me very upset. There were like these monsters in there, and I'm like, you never had monsters in the first trilogy. Why are you bringing up monsters in this one? Like, we figured out about shades, not about monsters. Stop it. Okay, so next we've got this little section here. Sorry, I'm kind of doing this. It's on my tripod, slightly handheld. But yeah. Alright, so we have the Haven, Mirage, and Eternal, and this is a trilogy by Christy Cook. Christy Cook? Christy Cook. Oh yeah, got it right. So this is a trilogy by Christy Cook. It is a, how do I explain this? It is a magical school, like a magical academy story with vampires, but like vampires aren't the main thing that the academy is used for. It's like really confusing, and the series is meh. It's another kind of guilty pleasure series. It's not very good. Sorry to say that, Christy Cook, but I have higher standards for my writing now, and I probably would hate that series with a passion if I read it for the first time, as I am now. So next we have The Jumbie by Pamela Keyes. I think I've done a book review for this. It is a retelling of Phantom of the Opera in the Caribbean, and I love this book. I like it a lot. I thoroughly enjoyed it. So yeah, I really want to get Roseblood. I really wish there were a lot more kind of Phantom of the Opera retellings for young adults. So next I have Dorothy Must Die and the Wicked Will Rise by Danielle Page. I do own Yellow Brick Wars, which is the third book. I also own the novella compilations, the short story compilations. I believe I have volume 1, so I have those as well. My favorite has to be the first one, and I kind of want to reread the series before I reread the third one, but definitely the first one is my favorite. So the next book I have is These Broken Stars by Amy Kaufman and, I almost said Jay Kristoff, but it's Amy Kaufman and Megan Spooner. This is the first book in the, I forgot what this trilogy is called, but this is a fantastic book and I love it a lot. I do have the second one. I just have to get to it and read it. But I really did love this book. It is a lot more intense, like survival wise, than the cover makes it out to be. Like, she doesn't wear this dress for long, and it's not as like dramatic romance as the cover makes it seem. It's a really great like survival story. So next we have The Fifth Wave by Rick Yancey. I do have the second book, which is The Infinite Sea. I don't have the third one. I don't have any motivation to read The Infinite Sea. Even when the third book was going to come out, I was like, okay. I do have two other books by Rick Yancey. I have The Monsterologist and The Curse of the Wendigo, that is what it's called, and I do have those, and I'm really excited to read those, actually. There's so many great books I have on my TBR shelf, which you guys will be seeing pretty soon. But anyway, next I have The Coldest Girl in Cold Town by Holly Black. This is the only Holly Black book I've ever read, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it, I say with a question mark, but part of me wants to reread this book, and I feel guilty about rereading books because you will soon see how many books I have to read. So before I ever start rereading books, I want to get my TBR down very much so, but considering how books keep coming out every year that I want, it's going to be very difficult to do that. So yeah, so that is the third shelf. Alright, we are going handheld now. We are on the final shelf here. This is kind of what it looks like. These books I have read. If you want me to go through them real quick, I think I'm going to do that. So I'll go through these real quick. But this is the final shelf here. I have a bottle collection and all my books, and there are obviously books behind there, so we'll get to those. But I guess we should start over here real quick. So I just finished this book. I don't think I'm going to be doing a book review on it, but it's called Explore the Hidden Books. The Hidden Doors. It is a compilation of 7 small graphic stories. And it's by 7 different kind of graphic novelists, artists, and writers, and it's really good. I think my favorite story is the cover one right here, this first one. I really like this one. This one was really good, and I have there's 3 of them so far, and I have the other one. It is the Mysterious Island or the Hidden Island or something like that, and it's also the same thing. I don't know if it has the same artists and authors, but this is really good. Next I have Beautiful Player, which you guys know I have this because I mentioned it on the first shelf. So next I have Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. I did this on audiobook with my mom. A review will be coming out real soon. It's been filmed. It just needs to be edited and uploaded. Next I have also a book that has a book review but hasn't been out yet, but that's Tower of Dawn by Sarah J Maas. I read it. I loved it, and there will be a review. And then next we have The Invasion of the Tearling by Erica Johansson. This also has a review out, so that will be coming out soon as well. Next I have, this is the fourth book in the Shadowfall series by CC Hunter, which I will be getting to, but this book is Whispers at Moonrise, and I was rereading my favorite parts in this book when I redid my shelf, so there is no room for it currently, so it's going to be in the stack, along with the Unbecoming of Mara Dyer. I lent this to someone. I lent this to a friend of mine. She didn't even read it, but it doesn't have any room at the moment, but it will soon. Next, I have my third copy of the first book of the Skullduggery Pleasant series, because no one can have too many of the Skullduggery Pleasant series. So this was also lent to the same friend and she didn't read it, which makes me disappointed. Next, I have Lost Symbols by Dan Brown. I'm just not gonna finish it, so I might as well put it on my shelf. I've got volume 1 of the Tomb Raider. Oops, sorry about that. I'm sorry. Volume 1 of the Tomb Raider comics, graphic novels that came out after the reboot game in 2013. So I've got that. I also am a big Dan and Phil fan, so I got The Amazing Book Is Not on Fire, and I really enjoyed this a lot. This was really funny. Next, I have Hamilton the Revolution by Lin-Manuel Miranda and Jeremy McCarter. Enjoyed that a lot. So yeah, those are those. I'm gonna move these out of the way. So, be back in a sec. Alright, so let's get to this. We've got Tigger over here, because Tigger is my favorite character in the Winnie the Pooh series. And then I've also got a Sleepy Dumbo over here as well, and we just moved him. I've got this Hope thing. This used to be a blue, like a pale blue, but it had a bunch of like marks on it, so I painted it, and it just says Hope. And I kind of want to repaint it, I don't know, but it's there, and it causes a lot of issues because it falls a lot. So next I have my collection of bottles. I'm not gonna go through each and every one of them because this video's long already, so I don't need to go through them. I'm doing these really cool things with some like sea or river glass where I put wire around it or I paint it some cool colors. So I've been doing that with them, and it's a lot of fun. So I guess we're gonna go over here first. So I've got the Angelburn trilogy by L.A. Weatherly. This is a really fantastic series, and it's so underrated. I bought this book mainly because of the spine art, not the cover, because the cover looks a little cheesy, but the spine looks gorgeous. And out of my favorites, I think the first one's gonna be my favorite out of all three of them. Those are going to be my favorite. And underneath them, I have the Shadow Falls series and the Shadow Falls After Dark. I have the first book of that trilogy series, and these are all by CC Hunter. These are also guilty pleasures. Basically, the book is a love triangle. The whole series is kind of a love triangle. I think it like gets to book 3, and then she finally picks one guy, and it's meh. But so those are Born at Midnight, Awaken at Dawn, Taken at Dusk, Whispers at Moonrise, Chosen at Nightfall, and then Reborn is the first book of the other series. My favorite might have to be Whispers at Moonrise or Chosen at Nightfall, one of those. And Reborn is pretty good. It's from one of the other characters' point of view. Yeah. So next I have the Evolution of Mara Dyer and the Retribution of Mara Dyer. I do have the Unbecoming, as you guys just saw. My favorite might have to be the Unbecoming of Mara Dyer. And yes, I'm aware that the Becoming of Noah Shaw is out, but I have yet to get my hands on it and hope to very, very soon. So next we have the books I've read of Harry Potter, the J.K. Rowling books. I have read the first 4, and I own all of them, including the script for The Cursed Child Part 1 and Part 2. Believe it or not. So I'm going to move all this out of the way so we can go way in the back and you guys can see my final set of books. So here we go. Alrighty, welcome to the final shelf of the books that I have read, and I'm very excited to show you guys. Okay, so let us start off. This is going to be a little tricky. I'm going to be slouchy. My back's going to hurt after this. Okay, so we're going to start off with this book here. This is the third book in a series for middle grade. This is The House of Mirrors. I actually have not read this, and I should probably get rid of it. Yeah. So let's just throw that over to the side. Next I have Because of Winn-Dixie by Kate DiCalamo. This book was given to me by a teacher, and I actually read it because it was the point in my life where I didn't read books and I was still going to a special English class. So the fact that I actually read this book surprised even me. So I have 3 years worth of literary arts journals from the high school, one of the high schools I went to. One of, because I've been to multiple high schools. Not because of any reasons. Well, there are reasons. Next, I have Star Wars Episode 1 Journal of Queen Amidala. I don't like The Phantom Menace either, but I like Padme, so I have this. Next, I also have this Scooby-Doo comic that I just can't get rid of. I don't know how long I've had this, but there's so much nostalgia. I just have it. Next is a book that I read the summer that I started reading a lot more books, and that is Gamer Girl, and this is by Mary Mankesy. It's right there. But this is really cool. It's about a girl. I believe she goes to a new school and she starts playing a role-playing game, and she meets this guy online and they kind of role-play with each other, and then she's also getting like bullied at school, and she's writing a manga, so it's pretty cool. Woo! I knew that was gonna happen. One of these was gonna fall over and there's gonna be noise. Next I have another graphic novel. This is called Smile. It's by Raina Telgemeier, something like that. And I hate the dentist. It's like my worst fear, and this book is about kind of the author's journey of losing her two front teeth and having to like, it's just ridiculous, and I can't believe I have it still. I read The Babysitter Club by her as well. Those little things they add. Alright, so moving on to this stack here, which I really wish I could bring these books to the front, but I just kind of sacrifice having them not in the front. But the first one is Eyes Like Stars, and this is by Lisa Mantiev? I don't know, but this book is really good if you are a fan of kind of the theater life, or if you know a lot of like Shakespeare's and a lot of classic, I guess kind of classic plays, then you might enjoy this book. The main character, Bianca, I believe her name is, Beatrice, she lives in this theater that comes alive, and those three fairies on there are the three fairies from, I think, A Twelfth Night or Midnight Summer's Dream. So it's a really good book. I have the second book and I need to read it. Oh, and I have the third book as well. Next we have Angel Fall by Susan E. I really love this book, and you're probably wondering why it's back here, but I really want to get the rest of the trilogy, and I really want to read that before I put it up in the front. I believe this is a self-publicated book, so it's so hard to find. The only place I can find it is on Amazon. No bookstore has it, so it's there, but I like it a lot. Next, I have a great and a fantastic book. It is Zombies vs. Unicorns, and this is by Holly Black and Justin Labrala. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but basically this is a bunch of stories about zombies and unicorns featuring a lot of authors. I mean, I read this before I read any of the Mortal Instruments or anything by Cassandra Clare. I've read this. There's also there's Scott Westerfield, Maureen Johnson, Libba Bray, Naomi Novik. I have a book by her I haven't read yet. Those are the ones I recognize from my reading experience now. But this is actually pretty cool. Some of the stories are really good and some of them are meh, but I guess I would recommend it. It's a really cool kind of fun book. So next I have the Unwind Dystology. There is a fourth one that I own and haven't read yet. And these are by Neal Shusterman. They consist of Unwind, Unholy, Unsouled, and the fourth one is Undivided. I think this trilogy is actually, this dystology is actually pretty good. My favorite is going to have to be Unholy. Yeah, Unholy is probably my favorite. Unwind. These books are actually kind of creepy, just the concept of them. And they're not really well written, but they're okay. If you're starting out reading, I would suggest this series if you like creepy books and stuff like that. So next we have The Falconer, and this is by Elizabeth May. This book is really good. It involves fairies, evil fae, and I wasn't into the fae at the time, so I wasn't really into this book. I love the cover. I loved the concept. It took me a little while to get into, but I really did enjoy this book. And I think like there are 3 other books that are out in this series. I don't know. I know The Vanishing Throne, which is the second book, is out, and I don't own that, and I really need to get my hands on it, but it's out. This book is really good. Yeah. Go on Goodreads and find it if you want. Next I have a book called Charm. This is by Sarah Pinbrog. This book is adult. I will emphasize it is adult. If you are uncomfortable with sexual things, I didn't know how to phrase that. This book is not for you. This book is also a second book in a series, which I did not know until I was halfway through reading it. But it is, I guess it's okay. Yeah, it's very female. It's a wicked Cinderella tale. Not really. Basically, the evil witch from Snow White is the godmother, and the shoes aren't very good in this scenario, which I think was actually pretty cool. But, it's just there's some adult stuff going on in there. I'll be right back. Alright, so next I have The Alchemist and The Magician, and these are by Michael Scott, and these are the first and second book in the Secrets of the Immortal Nicholas Flamel. These books I have a love-hate relationship with. I have like the other 3 on my TBR shelf, and I just haven't got to them. I love the concept. I kind of love the characters. For some reason, these books just took me forever to get through. Like, normally it would take me a month to get through one, and during the summer when I wasn't through any school and I didn't have a job at the time, so I had like a love-hate relationship with those books. Next we have my Dan Browns. We have Angels and Demons, The Da Vinci Code, and Inferno. I know the next one is out, Origin, and I really want to get my hands on it, but I'm gonna wait till I find it at a thrift store, because then it's gonna be cheap, and I like cheap books. And my favorite out of these is gonna have to be Angels and Demons, though I did much enjoy The Da Vinci Code, and that would have to come in second. This is so hard to do handheld. So next we have all of my classics. I put them down here. This is just so hard to do. Okay, so next, so we have And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie, which I raved about. I love it so much. Then I have the 2 Shakespeares I have actually read. I say I love Shakespeare, and I've only read 2 of his plays, and I do have a lot of his plays that I haven't read, but I will be getting to those real soon. So we've got Hamlet and Romeo and Juliet by William Shakespeare. Next we have Murder on the Orient Express by Agatha Christie. Then we have The Phantom of the Opera, and this is by Gaston Leroux, or something. It's French. Then we have Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradbury, which is one of my favorite books I've ever read in English class. I love that book so much, and I have another Ray Bradbury book that I really want to get to. Next we have Lord of the Flies, and that's by William Golding. I like this book I liked it towards the end. The beginning, it took a little while to build up, but I did enjoy it from there. Next I have Chinese Astrology, and this is by Sabrina Liao. Liao, I think it's Liao. And that just is a book that is about Chinese astrology and the Chinese zodiac mainly. I read the whole entire book. It was actually pretty good. Next we have The Things They Carried by Tim O'Brien, which frustrated me a little bit. I don't really want to talk about it. I had to read it for class. Also, I had to read for class 1984 by George Orwell, which did also make me upset a little bit just with the way in the end. I'm not going to spoil it if you haven't read it. But yeah. And then I have this really fantastic book called It's called The Tao of Pooh. It is by Benjamin Hoff, and it explains the religion of Taoism through Winnie the Pooh, and it's pronounced Taoism, not Taoism. It's Tao, as in a D, even though it's spelled with a T. And it's a fantastic book. I really liked it a lot. It's like, even if you don't practice the religion of Taoism, it is such a great book to read, just kind of figure out some stuff. I really liked it a lot. And there's another book he wrote. It's about another religion with Piglet, like using Piglet as an example for one religion. I forgot what it's called, but I believe it exists. But yeah, those are all. That is my whole entire bookshelf. That is all of the books I own and have read. That's just, well, that's a lot of books. Part of me wants to count them all. Maybe I'll do that next time when I do rearrange my bookshelf. I'll show you guys all the books. I'll count them. I'll count them for you guys. So that's the end of the video. Please make sure to like and subscribe, and also comment down below if you own any of the kind of obscure books I own. I mean, I don't think I've ever, besides my friend who recommended the Haven series to me, I don't think I've ever met anyone who's read the Haven series by Christy Cook. So if there is a book on here that you've read that's obscure and you're like, oh my god, I didn't think anyone read that, comment down below or anything like that. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. I will see you in the next video. Goodbye! Also, I forgot to mention this, but I also do own Anne and the French Kiss by Stephanie Perkins. I'm just currently rereading it at the moment with a friend of mine who is slacking so much. So I've put the pressure on. I've told her I'm getting to chapter 20, and if she's not in there within the week, I'm going to move on without her. So I do own Anna and the French Kiss, and I do love this book so much. No, I have not read the other ones.